Ohana. Today we're gonna be trying out something else different, because I am just not in the mood, for Power World. So I decided we're gonna be checking out and playing some Neon Abyss. Let's get into this. I'm not new to it. I've played roguelikes. My friend, the enemy of my enemy. I'm Hades. Titan group took most of my powers and destroyed your family. I need fighters like you to put an end to Titan's reign. If you seek revenge, drink it. Woo! Coin! Let's just make sure that... Okay, we're good. No, I need another active portal stone. Okay. Okay. Drop down! Pew, pew, pew. Down. No! No. No. My butt. You cannot bite it. Ooh. Ooh, right trigger. Terry! You can fly in the cart room. Cool. If you're down to half a heart, you immediately deal damage to all enemies. Very nice. You need more practice to master throwing bombs. Ooh! Shit. Okay, so I can't. Alright. Oh, ah! Can remap controls. Alrighty. Charge! Do it! Charge! Shit. Where's he going? Okay, he's going there. badge. Golden damage increase. Hell yeah. Take those. Alright, off we go. Yeah. No. Shit. Ooh, let me get that. And then... Key! Ooh. Okay, that just takes me back there. Hatching failed. It's empty. Oh! Ooh, teleport storm. No. I don't think I want to unlock that. Unlock this. Cooling system. Oh. Yeah. Let me get that. Go back this way. Oh. Right. Oh shit, Marav. Shit, I don't have any more, and so I can't open that one. Yeah, go this way, go to the left. Oh fuck. Stay here. Well, that sucks. I can't get those either. To the right! Oh god. Okay. Oh no! Another anti-egg! Damn. Alright, where is it? Where's the other one? Come back here! Squirting worm. A blue brick! Blocks enemy bullets. Oh. Cool. Another teleport room. Oh no! Another hatching failed? It's kind of shitty. Tired of these hatchings failing. Ooh, what are you? Ooh! Strength. Energy cure. Oh, that's cool. Carissa, a crazy girl who throws bombs above enemies. Okay. Let's go. Okay, there's nothing there. Hell shit. Off to the next boss, I guess. Chain, God of Bittercoin. Oh! Oh shit! No! Shit, shit, shit! Oh! Firepower! Ooh. Oh, I need a key to unlock that, okay. And I need bullets to, not bullets, I'm guessing grenades to unlock that. Oh, there's a grenade. Ooh, teleport. Well, that was useful. Go this way, to the left. Oh, I need health desperately. Ooh. Old Hunter. Nougat. Every time your pet evolves, you'll drop a key. Okay. Go this way. Ah! unlock that. Need 10 for him. For 3 for that. Okay. Ah, looks like Daft Punk. Oh, you can dance, that's fun. The statue's broken. Broken. Input a seed. Okay. Don't forget you trade your gems for upgrades. I did. Difficulty. Basement. Oh. So this is all the oh, okay. Cool. It's all the items and stuff. Lab? Oh, this is, I guess, all the stuff I've encountered, maybe? Or will? Okay. Oh, I could replace monsters. Oh, cool. Okay. I could disable, and I could preview. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna pause here because ads are due in 8 minutes. I'm gonna run them. That way no one gets hit with pre-rolls, and also too, it helps support the channel. So I will see everyone on the other side in about 3.5 minutes. Welcome back from ads, Ohana. Let's get back into this. I'm gonna left first. No, don't you bite me! Ooh. Money! Oh, teleport, okay. Secret? Secret! Let's go! And I just damaged myself. Good job, mate. He wants 3 crystals? Okay. Oh. Well, I'll take an extra key. No! Damn it. Ooh. Take that life, thank you. Ooh, another key. Give. Wait, did I miss something back there? Did I missed money? Shit. I need the monies. Let's go, 3 keys. Three keys is good, we like that. Come here, you little runny butts. Come here. Stop running. Why are you running? Ooh, what's that? Nothing. Okay. Ooh, more crystals. No, no shit. Oh. No, 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 no! Oh! God damn it! If I don't find healing, I am screwed. I'm not risking it. Phantom. Oh. Let me get that. Let me get Phantom. Buy that key as well. back here and get those crystals if they're still here, which they are. Ooh, okay. So I couldn't get that grenade, but that's okay. And I can't get in there. Do I have enough for anything in here? No. Oh well. Go up here. Since there's more to explore. Oh, thank you. Health. Oh, you love to see it. No! Another one. Oh no, my eggs failed hatching. Ooh. Mercenary Lord, melting calendar. Oh, the more coins you do, the more damage. Now I feel like I cheated myself out of like whatever the melting calendar was. Oh well. Lero, goddess of makeup. Okay. Oh! Ah, shit! Gain wisdom or improve your violence. Okay. Let's do a quick restart, because I don't have anything. Leave a upper left, a lower left, and an upper right. You know what? Upper left, why not? Egg! And then teleport room, it looks like. Yep. Already found the boss room this early? Shit. Well, that's nice to know there's extra health in here if I need it. Well, not extra, but health recovery if I need it. Okay, so back to the starting room. Oh, secret! Give. Very nice little secret there. Oh boy. Why can't I jump down? The heck? I'm pressing down. Huh. Jump. More. Yeah. Okay. Okay, what the heck, game? Great, I just wasted my grenade. Thanks, game. That's exactly what I'm doing. Whatever, I can't get to the item room because the game doesn't want to let me jump down. For some reason. Ooh, active coin. Okay. Can I want to remap that jump down. Ah. Did it just restart me? It fucking restarted me. Bullshit. Oh, now you work. Bullshit. I'm gonna die. Yep. Bullshit. I'll take the lucky coin. Give me that money! Another egg? Ooh. Ooh, what are you? Golden Sam, crystal hard candy. I'm taking the Golden Sam. Pew pew! Shit. Oh, there's a secret room there. Okay, I have to get a grenade. I want the secret room. Shit. Pew pew. I like this one. Crazy gun, I love it. God, I really need grenades. Game heard me. Can I get some more, game? I'm gonna go to the secret room, though. There we go. No grenade in this one. Oh. Cheated. That looks like that hurts. Another grenade? Game, you're being generous. We do love when a game is generous. No, back that way. Well, shame. Couldn't get that one. Ah, well. Can I get the one that's in here now, maybe? No, I need to figure out... No, I can't get that one. Okay. So there is... This way? I'll still need more grenades. I see you! Baby Blue Doctor! On death, drop random shields. Okay. It's gotta be like a Dr. Manhattan reference. Okay, that is an ouchie. That's the boss. That's a grenade. Where is this treasure chest, game? I don't see it. Come here, you. I see you. Where do you think you're going? Fire devil. He shoots fire at enemies. Oh, nice. Very nice. Ooh, give me those. That looks suspicious. Of course not. Okay. That's a teleport. Money. There you go, have 3 crystals. Ooh. Darn, I'm saving my money. Just a room with extra health. Okay. And can I get to this room? I can. This looks painful, but worth. Okay. Okay, egg. Probably worth. I don't see the chests in here. I know where the one is in this next room, so I'm going over to that room. Gimme! Yeah! Do I have enough money? I have enough money for the gun, but I like the gun I have. I wish I had enough for the King's Crown, but I don't. Guess we'll just go boss now. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna try it. Did it! Weapon badge! Oh! Big pew pew. So very worth. this way. So I can grab the health. So I'm full health. Before I go into the boss. Perfect. This is frustrating. Ah! Hello, key. Tommy, god of plushies! No, you're not. I am. Get pew-pewed on, Tommy. Ooh. Life badge. Let's go. So we now are on level 2. I don't have crystals to give, so... Yep. Oh, this is tempting. I'll just take that for... I'll take the grenade for now. Okay, there we go. Got you. Ooh, hello. Good thing I have all these keys, because I can open this stuff. Oh, game, you spoil me. I'm being spoiled right now. Oh, shit. Okay, not bad. Not a bad little hole. That's about a golden fist. Oh, very nice. Ow! Flame Devil, his toots shoots 2 fireballs at enemies. He totes, yep, he totes. Ow! Oh no! My egg hatching failed! Rip. No, you get the fuck back here. Nice. Let's try this one. Help! Oh, this is not fair. A zombie sister. She shoots poison bullets at enemies. She splits into two after getting hurt. Alright. Oh no, another hatching failed. Ooh, another egg. Thank you, game. So many crystals. Game being real generous with those today. Well, on this run, anyway. No, I don't like you. Go away, worm! Happy Kendama! Increase your weapons range! Oh. Like him. Did I get everything in here? I did not. Now I did. Go this way. Woo, more teleports. Shit. Broke the boxes and I didn't mean to. Oh well. Ooh, money. We do love free money. Come here. Gotta make sure not to pew-pew the boxes. There was nothing in there. That's a gun. Sentinel. 2077 Cyberpunk reference! This is the future, and you're a big dreamer. The more shields you have, the more damage your weapon does. Oh, I love this. I love the references. This is so good. I want to go back to the shop. Okay, that's a gun. I don't want that. Good thing I looked though, because I missed a whole death ray. Gaze from the abyss active. Blink a short distance forward. Okay. Oh no, I don't like that. Give me that back. Give me Golden Sam back. Sorry. I don't like the way that one pew-pews. And I already did this room. I already fought in that room. Boss it is. It's George! What's up, George? Get back here, George! Strength back! Gun damage increase again! Alright, what are you? Shop, okay. Open you. Oh my god, it's the mask from Crash Bandicoot! Give me it! activate all the portal stones, I get eggs. Okay? More shields equals more pew pew! Okay, well that worked, but I got hurt in the process. Yes, he fires a laser to attack enemies. Fair. This way. Oh. Oh no, another failed hatching. Rip. Ah! Come on, big money, big money. Yeah. Second try, I love it. Up we go. More boss, more fight, yes. Those fuckers made me lose. Lethal perfume, increase your weapon damage when she follows you. God, I'm just gonna have super gun by the time this is done. This is the super gun run, apparently? Shit! No! Oh, you bitch. Oh! You bitch! Fuck! Rude! I just want to get up there! Game. Let me get up there. I see things and I want them. Yes, finally! Ow. Drop random coins. What do you do? I don't like you. Give me my pew pew back. I like my big pew pew. Go this way. No! Another empty egg! I'll take another key, though. I've got lots of things following me right now. And I am not complaining. Another key. Very nice. Nice suit. Nothing there. Teleport. No. No! Ooh, ticky. Another teleport room? Grab that. Okay, we've got a strength badge or cooling system. Let's go cooling system. Oh, my bullets now deal ice damage. Shit. Alright. Let's go. First fucking try. Let's go. To the left. More money. I will not complain about money. Back to this room. Oh, fuck you. Okay. Oh, it's this way. Okay. Ball. This little ball blocks enemy bullets. Hi, Mama. How are you? Ooh, another one. Give. No, my egg hatching failed. Oh, you guess. Why you guess? Pew pew. No. Oh fuck. Okay. Ooh, more money. Boss time. Pie die? Okay. sorry to hear that. You know, if you need someone to chat with, my DMs are open. What are you? Hi! Hello, stranger. Can you help me a little busy? This is, awkward. I am hungry, but I'm too lazy to get up. If you can get me something to eat, I'll trade in something that you can't refuse. By the way, my nickname is Sir Eat-A-Lot. I'd be really impressed if you can bring lots of food to me in a single trip. Okay. I need to bring him food. Okay, ow! That's not food, that's ow. I got a screw. I don't know what the screw is for. Okay, this is gonna be ow. Ow! There go all of my fucking shields for this! Don't like it. Ow. Yeah, I'm losing all my damn shields for this. This kind of sucks. Ow! Okay. Oh, God. I am playing Neon Abyss. It is a roguelike bullet hell game. I just wasn't in the mood for Power World today. I just wanted something different. I mean, it's not that, like, I don't love Power World. Don't misunderstand me. I do. I just... part of me's a little burnt out on it. And this game has a lot of pop culture references in it. Yeah, I need a break from Power World. Not because I hate it or anything, like I said, I'm feeling very burnt out on it right now. Because right now, where I'm at, I kind of can't go. I have to... Unfortunately, I have to literally just build a bunch of stuff to even advance. So I'm feeling very stuck at the moment with the game. Ordinary gloves. 1,000... Okay, I don't even... A Tesla coil, a ring of lightning. by the way, okay, I've given him... Yeah, I just... It's funny, like, the other games that I'm playing, I'm not burnt out on. But... Pal World, it just feels like I'm up against a brick wall at the moment. Matchbox or Party Popper? Let's see what Party Popper does. Launches colorful bullets! Okay! I've got a party hat on, too. I had a feeling there was another monster in here. Ooh, alien baby! He fires heat-seeking missiles! Oh no, that one failed! Oh yes, health rune, give! Ghost baby, penetrating bullets at enemies! Okay, we're getting some good guys in here. It's a shame that I lost my zombie sisters, but oh well. My hatching failed! Okay, that looks suspicious. But could just be a glitch. Why do all these hatchings keep failing? Boom! Let's open you. Okay, I hate when these platforms do this where they disappear. Oh, I need health desperately. Alien Baby X! He fires 2 heat-seeking bullets! Baby grabber on death drops... I know what that baby looks like, and I don't like it. Can we get rid of it? Can I just, like, not have that one? I don't like what he looks like. Trying to see... Oh! 2 more eggs! Okay! We're just having a party! go! I've added a couple of new songs to the playlist, so... Angry Teapot! Right, my god, my gun is just getting overpowered this run. My gun is getting super OP this run. I will take that. Take that, and whatever this is. Rocket Mob! There's a chance you'll fire a heat-seeking rocket! Okay. My gun's really getting overpowered. Oh, goodness. Fear the pew-pew! Yeah, we definitely know who you are and you can go away. That's the boss. I don't want to go there yet. Let's see if I can beat the boss before I have to run ads. Block! God of Bittercoin. Yeah, I'd say I beat the boss before I had to run ads. Increase my bullets! Okay, this gun is just getting super OP. Okay, I have to run ads now. Because they're due. I run about 3.5 minutes of ads every hour. That way there's community with pre-rolls, and it also helps support the channel and make sure that I can continue to put money back into the channel to give stuff back to you all. So I will see you all on the other side. and my name is Stitch. I am your friendly non-binary alien demon here on Twitch. I am also best friends with the Mothman and sometimes known as a local cryptid. How are we doing? Kaiser, shout yourself out. Hi, Draven. I know what you got up to. I know what you got up to. How did Europa Universalis go? Ooh. Make this worth my while, homie. Too bad. I still like Golden Sam. We're keeping Golden Sam. And Kaiser, if you have to go do anything after stream-wise for yourself, please feel free to do so. Thank you for trusting me with your community, which I know most of them. Shame that didn't really have anything. Right, I have the infinity key for this level. Hell yeah! Man, I cannot wait till the second version of this game releases. Yeah, they're making a Neon Abyss 2, and I'm very excited for it. There's an egg here. Where is my egg? There it is. I'm super hyped for the second version of Neon Abyss. I don't know when it's being released. I think I have it on my wish list though. Tiny Mummy too! He can block bullets and they fire full bullets. Full bullets? 4 bullets. I can read, I promise. Although it remains to be seen sometimes. But too, he's full of confidence. He will attack enemies that are close to you. Alright. I rated my own channel, by the way. Oh! Pain! Painful teleport. Baby, give me the alien toy! Gimme! Ow! Go back here. Since we still have more to explore. shield. No, come on, game. Game hates me. Oh shit, I forgot I saw a shield and I didn't even grab it. I am so smart. Oh, the bullets! Oh, it's one of those! Shit. Where'd it go? Where the fuck did it go? Where is it? Over there now. Bastard. Baby Peter on death drop a number of moldy hearts. It's on Steam and it's also on Epic. My suggestion would be to get the Steam version because apparently the Epic version has bugs that they never bothered to fix. That would be my suggestion. That way you're not missing out on any content. Because that's what's gonna happen if you do it, if you don't. Oh! No! Fuck you! No! 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 Was that worth it? Probably not. Alright, let's try this one. No! Fuck! Ah, it was such a good run! Ah, well. Go eat. I could unlock the claw machine room, or I could sit on them and wait to get a new character. I think I'm gonna wait and get a new character. Well, we've got a lucky gold coin. I hate this. I'm back to this boring, non-awesome pew-pewness. I want my good stuff. I want my stuff back. Ah! God damn it. I hate this. Roguelikes giveth, roguelikes taketh. The 8th color, a wizard's secret weapon. Active. Drop a random pickup. I'll take that. Thanks, game. No! Shit! Okay, game's being nice. This is a weird gun. I'm not sure I like it. This gun is very strange. Ah, boss room already. Alright. No, not a secret room. Okay. I'm gonna head over this way to check out the other rooms we missed. Don't you bite me! Take the extra heart though, thank you. Nothing hiding in there. Damn. Oh, I missed money. Shit. I need that. Thank you. Crystals, that works. And I am missing money. Why do I keep forgetting to grab the money? Okay, that's a secret room. Oh my god, you have something I need. I need that. I've got to figure out... I've got to get another, explosive. So I can get into that... speaking of, I was just gonna say, so I can get into the secret room and then the explosive popped out. Thank you, game. Secrets. Secrets. No! I'll take the extra health. Well, not extra health, but the extra egg. We have one more room up here on the right, which probably will lead to more rooms. No! The egg failed! Okay, you gave me money. I'm not gonna turn down money. B-virus? That's a Resident Evil reference to the T-virus. profit chip. I gotta go B-Virus. Each time you kill an enemy, there's a chance it will explode. Alright. I have to go with my Resident Evil reference. Have to. Boss time, I guess? It's George, the god of pills. This is gonna be harder, though. Because I don't have all my upgrades. Alright, where you going, George? Okay, going there. Where's it going? Come on. And we're increasing our bullets again. And we're hit with an item room right off the bat. Rusty Key or Guardian? I'm gonna go Rusty Key. Every time you use a key, there's a chance to drop an extra bomb or an instant bomb. Oh no! Oh no! I should have taken the gun! I may have screwed this run up. Taking the key was a bad idea. Oh, happy Kendama. Okay, so that only gave me money this time. Alrighty. Oh, I see you. Posture check and a drink. Why? You're so rude. No! My egg hatching failed again! Why, game? Left or right? Let's go left. Oh, I missed you, did I? Listen, I appreciate the bullet, the grenades, but I could really use some help, game. Where is he? Where's Biggest Wormus? 2 crystals, okay? teleport here. That's the boss. Now we're on full health at least. And we go to the right. Come here, you. Ooh, shield. Give me that. I don't see any secrets at the moment. Or anything that looks like it could be. Box breaking time! Shit, I hit the door and I didn't mean to! Ah, well. Give me the shield. Lullaby? Good night, sleep tight. Get a silver egg! Oh, I don't like it! I'll take the egg, but I'm taking the 8th color back. I don't like the lullaby. Alright. Boss time it is. Kimmy, God of Idols. No. Oh, she's on a rampage now. No, 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 oh, shit! One more hit and she's done. Gun damage increase, let's go! It was on sale, I think, too, and it's worth it. What do we got here? Power helmets? Grim hoods. Power helmet. Oh shit! It's only if you get hurt in this room. Oh, come on. I'm getting screwed over so bad with my picks. Tiny Mummy! It's clear I'm learning nothing. Oh, it's any worm. Okay. Cool. True, the roguelike giveth and taketh away, it not be happyeth. Roguelite says, I will give when I want and take when I want. Come on! That's what I was waiting for. Ooh! No! Oh, don't you touch my butt! Tiny Mummy has evolved! Oh, shit! I may have to put that on the schedule. If it's got a playtest soon. Oh, thank you! Just gave me a shield. Okay, not secret. Oh, that worked. Another egg. I hear a strange sound coming from afar. I don't know what that means. Failed, okay, I'll do that then. I was just gonna grab some health since I was low. I know the next room is a teleport room, but I still can't be too safe. Because sometimes the teleport rooms have bosses, have battles in them. Oh, I appreciate you! This game, honestly, I love all the pop culture references in it. I have had, like, that's one of, like, the biggest selling points for me is all the pop culture references this game has. So I'm excited to see what the second one's gonna have. Because on one run, I actually had a cyberpunk reference. Item, Cactus Baby. She causes damage to anyone she touches. Alright, what you got for me? Noise? Demon book! I gotta get the demon book. Oh, I get angry sprite every time I kill something with explosion. I'm so glad I was able to do so. It is a lot of fun. Even though I keep dying. But that's the thing with roguelites, you know? You die, you keep, and you get better and better stuff unlocked. I almost missed eggs. And this has a heart in it, so I'm gonna grab that. I have a lot of stuff on my wish list. My wish list is... I preened my wish list. I cleared out some stuff. But, it's still long. Yeah, honestly, I love the fact that, like, with roguelites too, you never know if you're gonna be able to finish the run or not. And I love that you get random, like, it's not, you're never gonna get the same stuff. Little bear, he fires a bouncy bullet at enemies. Ha ha. Yes, dear husband. How do I get to this room? Oh, I just teleport. Sacrifice. Did I make a mistake? Spartan lineage. That's... Okay, that's Harry Potter. That's 300. That's Harley Quinn. The more pets you have, the more damage your gun does. Okay, I didn't fuck myself over this time. Oh well, I fucked up. Maybe. Ow! I didn't fuck up because I just got it back! Worth. Upper left, lower right. Let's go lower right. Yeah, mommy, 3 even. I need more friends! Come on, game! Game doesn't want me to have friends. It says, no, you're not allowed. Suffer. Cactus baby too! Come on, big money! Fuck you. Big money! There we go! This is a teleport room. Adam! He shoots enemies automatically. No! My butt! Stay away! No! No, no, no! Alright, where is the little wormy? Stop moving, you fuck! Fuck you! Stop moving! Oh! We got alien baby again! Teleport room. How many what do you want? 3, okay. I don't have money for anything. Of course not. Maybe I'll have money after this room. Okay, I've got 70 gold coins. Can I buy anything in here? I can. Meteor or rainforest souvenir? Rainforest souvenir is definitely a reference to Rainforest Cafe. Or it could also be a reference to George of the Jungle. Kill off enemies and you'll drop extra eggs. Okay. We now have a toucan head on the gun. I'm not sure how to feel about this. Okay, nothing there, just hearts. Gun! Swat! The gun is called Swallow. Close your eyes! Oh boy! Oh boy! If that ain't a dirty reference! There's a dirty gun! Little panda! He fires 2 bouncy bullets at enemies automatically. Boy, you can throw a snowball, which freezes enemies. She causes damage to anyone she touches. Okay. Another teleport room. And it's also the boss room. Egg! We already know what Party Popper does. Lightning bolts. Jump marks will create... Oh my god. Jump marks create lightning! Alright. Do I risk it and go for the mini boss room? The boss kind of minion rush, mob rush room kind of thing? Yeah, you know what? I'm doing it. Got Adam 2 now. Okay, this wasn't worth it. I didn't get anything good out of it. Ah, well. Boss time. The McFamily got a oh god. More hearts! Yes! Nightmare mask. Alright, I'll be back. No, my hatching failed. That one's 2 crystals. Oh shit! I just fucked up. Alright. Song of Joy? Let's get the profit chip. Kill enough enemies, you'll drop extra shields. Okay. And go back here because I don't want to start, because I need to find the boss room. Ghost baby! Nothing in there, damn it. Ooh, we got another friend. boss. No! Alright, where is it? Ow. Aaron! Hi, Toolis! How are you? We are bouncing about! Down here. Snow brother! He can throw 2 snowballs. Oh. Another egg, give. No! Why? Why do all the eggs? Most of the eggs keep failing. This is not cool. I need the eggs. I'm doing all right. I'm actually having a lot of fun with this. I am glad I decided to take a break from Pal World for this. Because this is a lot of fun. No, I want to drop down, thank you. It is a roguelike bullet hell with a lot of pop culture references. So I'm having a lot of fun. No! Damn it! Oh well. Boss it is! Argus! The god of the darknet. Yeah, you can please disown your child for me. That makes me feel old if your child's saying that shit. Thank you. I've disowned your child now too. Just so you know. Ah, fuck! Oh well, I got to the final boss. That was the final boss. Not bad. Oh, I can unlock a new character. And I can unlock the claw machine room. Hell yeah, let's go. Oh, I didn't realize I had characters. Interesting. She's from a game called Muse Dash, apparently. Let's try her out. Golden Bird or Destiny? Golden Bird. The more coins you have, the faster you... Oh, that's gonna fuck me over. That is so gonna fuck me over. Especially if I want to buy shit. We have ads in 9 minutes, so I'm gonna pause here, run ads, that way those who come in are not hit with pre-rolls, and also too, it helps support the channel, and the ads don't play during stream. So I'll see everyone on the other side. aloha, welcome back from ads. Raid, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. My name is Stitch. I am your friendly non-binary alien demon here on Twitch. I'm also best friends with the Mothman, and sometimes known as the local cryptid. And I use they, them pronouns exclusively. How you doing, Britt? What'd you get up to? And as always, if you have to raid and run, I appreciate you sharing your community with me. And I hope you go take care of yourself. Oh, Final Fantasy VII. I actually have that on my wish list. That is one that I do want to play at some point. Interesting skill. How do I turn it off? Oh, I have to hit the button again. Okay. Interesting skill. I don't think I'll be using it. It's a cute concept, but pain in the butt. So what did you get up to? Have you decided who you're romancing yet? Because I know that there's romance in there. Oh boy, get back here. Oh, you've barely made friends with the characters. Oh boy. Where's that other piece of money? Oh, it's over there. His name is Gromit, okay. I mean, this character's cute, but I don't know. I'm not sure I am really liking this character. I know there's a secret room there, but I can't unlock it. I don't have a grenade to do so. Game heard me. Game definitely heard me. Shit! I'm getting coin. I'm not getting shit. Fuck this room. Fuck this room! Terrible room! Hate it! Worst room ever! Strodinger's back? Oh, shit. Alright, boss time it is. Let me just grab crystals before we leave. Tick, the mobile... Oh, sorry, is there a talk? I'm sure there's a talk, if there's a tick. Oh, he big man now. What you having? And did you bring enough to share with the class? Oh, bullet increase. Wow. Rude. Oh my god, look at all these eggs! Egg room! Get back here! Get back here, you stupid worm! Fuck you. Oh, I can't get up there, so... Oh, I missed money! Give me the money. Can I just... Please? Thank you. I was trying to get through the teleport room! Failed. Why? No, don't you bite me. Oh, not you. We don't want this one. This one can go away. Baby Grabber can go the fuck away. If you don't know who Baby Grabber is, supposed to be, well, I don't know what to tell you. You must live under a rock. Thank you for the headphones. Yeah, I may have to disable Baby Grabber. I don't. We don't want Baby Grabber. True. Firepower badge or ready aim eye. Let's get the firepower badge. True, there are no people there. Go this way? Yeah. Yano! She throws a spear to attack enemies. Yano? I'm sorry, that was a bad joke. Honestly, I'm not sorry, though. Okay, shit. Oh, I'm dead. I am so dead here. Yep. Ah. I don't think I'm a fan of her. I mean, she's cute and all. But I'm not a fan of her. Ban. Ban you. You're not allowed. Four, five. Alright, so don't have money for anything right now. He can roll forward a short distance? Eh. She can make melee attacks with no cost. Okay, whatever. Let's try Anna. I'll take the lucky gold coin. I see you, you're stuck. Come here, you. And you. There's one more, and it's up there. Ow! There is nothing here. Another teleport room. And the boss already. Okay. Found the boss right off pretty quickly. Okay. Like that, I guess. Not that I could really do much about it at the moment. Grab that health, and off to the next room we go. No! God damn it! Ah! Rainbow and candy cane. That's interesting. And back to the main room. Go to the the right-hand side. I'm determined to at least finish one run completely. No! You'll take a candy cane? Yeah, me too! If I get enough money, I probably will go back and buy it. I mean, because I'd like to try and get stuff I don't know what it does. Samurai's Soul, let's try you. There's a chance you'll fire a big bullet. Okay. Give me the key. To the left now! Eggs! Lots of egg. Is there anything? Oh, it's a secret room up here! Oh, yes, 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 yes! Give me secret room! I like secret room. Do I attempt the bullet hell mob room or do I just go for the boss? The mob room could give me a good item. I'm gonna try it. I need good item. Anything, really. Just half a shield. I got money. I think I can go buy the candy cane now. I can indeed. What do you do? The more pets you have, the faster you can shoot. Alright. Now we go to the boss room. Daniel, God of Gaming, okay. Is that a reference to, like, RT Plays? Because isn't not RT Plays, RT Gaming, isn't his name Daniel? Like his real name? Increased my bullets. This room is a gambling room, that's for sure. And I got in on the first try, alright. I'm gonna need money to come back for that room. Another egg! Let's go! That's the boss already, okay. Damn. Finding the boss really fucking early this run. That's like the second time I found the boss super fucking early. Next room is fighting forces. Finding the boss room early is not terrible. Zombie sister! Hello! No! Damn it! Get back here! Thank you, platform. Whee! Oh, look at that money! Animosity lion headgear. Well, we don't have a new gun. We haven't had a gun yet. Oh! That's a heal room. I should just go for the teleport. What the heck am I doing? Ow. Hey, one of those rocks had a shield in it. Let's go. Granted, I don't have any grenades now, but you know. Shield, good thing. No! Egg hatching failed again! Damn it! Why? Oh, we got a Yano! Damn! 3 shields in this room. Teleports! I need more coins. Okay. Oh, that hurts. I need grenades. That hurts. I've got to find some grenades. I hope this room has some. Missing out on chests like that, that really hurts. I really would like some grenades, game. I appreciate all the shields, though. Nope, nothing in there. We have a broken kite or thunder engine. Thunder engine sounds fun. The more shields you have, the faster you fire. Well, I've got 5 of those. Ooh. Basketball jersey? Oh, I know whose jersey that is. We're going for it. You lose only maximum. Yeah, I had to go for Kirby. I had to go get Kirby's jersey. Fuck off, bullet! Ah, fuck you, bombs! Rigged. I have a basketball on my head now. The fuck? Why is there a basketball on my head? More bullet increase, let's go! Oh boy. Thunder or Future Tech? Future Tech looks like something from Ready Player One. Still no grenades. Oh, we got Adam. My God, all these crystals give. Ooh. I don't know if I want to go in there. Because I know what that room's going to be. It's going to be another one of those stupid crane game rooms. And they are a pain in the ass to get anything from. I will take all these grenades, though. I thought I saw you. There you are, teleport room. Let's go to the right first. Ooh, key. Alright. Bullet hell time. Was that worth it for half a shield and a grenade? I don't know. I don't feel like that was worth it. I'm not really feeling that one. yet. Well, we are definitely getting a ton of shields this run. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it yet. Almost died. Almost got hit there. Ooh. Okay, the game just really wants to keep giving me shields, apparently. I'm not sure why. Speaking of shields, there's another one! Doesn't matter which one I take, it's firepower or firepower. Kind of a difficult choice there. Firepower or firepower. And Adam has now leveled up again. Oh, now there's the boss. Oh, I got an achievement. Shields up. Acquire 8 shields in a single run. Alrighty. That's a heck of an achievement. Baby Peter! Oh, I can only have 8 shields. I can't have any more. I got the max amount of shields. Alrighty then. Well, now we know the max amount of shields is 8. So we can't question how many shields you can get. It's 8. I have enough for the guitar, but I don't really want it. I'm holding off. We're going, boss. Oh, this is the Nick family! They're gonna make sure I lose some of my shields. Just increased my heart containers. Let's go. And right off the bat, the shop. Stardust Rogue's badge. Rogue's badge. What is that in reference to? It's gotta have a reference to something. Hi, Peter! I wanna know what Rogue's badge is in reference to. I'm sure there's like a Bioshock item too. I would imagine they have like references to other games as well in this. I want to find the Bioshock item, though. If there is one. Oh, ow! I lost half a shield in there. Oh, God! Oh, fuck you! Let me in! Thank you! Why is the teleport room dangerous? Why? Ow! No! Hatching failed! I want to know why they made that teleport room dangerous. I thought they were supposed to be safe. That's not cool. Next teleport room. Oh, this one's safe. The other one, no. That's why this one's safe. It's the boss room. Oh, no, it's not. I take it back. It is not safe. That is not safe at all. There's another teleport. Oh, hello. Gimme. Bullet increase or dangerous receipt. I receive a delivery of a batch of bombs? Okay. I'm not sure what to make of that. Increased my gun level. Thank you for the face squish. Well, I have 70 coins now. I'm getting the rogue badge. I don't know what it is, but I want it. Well, in this room, each time you pick something up, your movement speed and jump height will increase. Okay. I still don't know what is in reference to? I'd like to know what's in reference to. Of course, I wouldn't be able to pass on the first try. Making it back to the boss room. Pie-Dye, God of Trolls? And we're increasing bullets again! Oh. Final level again. Oh, this needs 2 keys. Life or Scarlet Tail, which kind of looks like Hello Kitty? I'm taking the extra life. I feel like extra life is gonna be very beneficial here. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I was like, you know, I don't mean to. I try to avoid them. Oh, we lost our cat friend. Oh no! Well, I mean, it was kind of worth. I don't know if it really was, but... I'm at least making money and stuff? Egg, yeah. I mean, I lost all of my shields, though. Mustard poop? What? crystal as well. Oh, okay, I'll fix it. Give me 2 seconds and I'll fix it right now. Game capture. You should hopefully be able to see everything now. Alright, where's the treasure chest? Game? Game says there's a treasure chest. I don't see it. Ah! Oh, fuck! Where is it? It's up there and I can't get to it? Alright, I'll give you 1 heart. Ancient mask. Forbidden mask. Sturdy shield. Sturdy shield kind of reminds me of Captain America's shield. Add shields. Some attacks will deal no damage. Hell yeah. White Fox, what do you do? You fire an energy ball. How do you feel? Crap. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Ah! Forbidden mask or weapon badge? Weapon badge. No, you fuck off. Ooh, heart. Thank you, game. Nothing in there. Okay, definitely buying an extra heart. This is gonna be painful. Oh boy. This is gonna hurt. Yeah. Yes! I beat him! Let's fucking go! Oh, that feels so good! Let's go! As you gradually lose consciousness, you're surrounded by a warm light. That's... Oh my god, this is only the beginning. Great, you defeated the first manager, unlocking new levels of managers, but there are more challenges waiting for you. Oh. Well done, you've unlocked a new manager on a brand new level. Wow. Let's go, though. Let's get bomb barrel unlocked. Ooh, safe switch, sure. I think I'll do a couple more runs. I've had good luck with the girl, so I'm not gonna stop my good luck. I just locked in on that last boss. I was just like, I am focused. I'm not reading chat. I'm not anything. I really wanted to beat the boss. Oh my god, boss room already? Okay. Ow! Ooh, egg! We have Moonhead or Donut. Donut! The more eggs you have! have, the more bullets you will fire. Don't I? Oh, I can't go that way. I need grenade. Egg! Damn it, closer! Egg! Ow! We have ads in 8 minutes, so I'm gonna pause here, run ads, and I will see everyone on the other side. Welcome back from ads, Ohana. Let's get back into this. Oh, I left money. Oh, secret! I don't have any grenades! Ah! That's not fair!
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message. I love you.
I love you too.
Now, back to our show.
Where is he? Why the fuck do I keep... There you go. There we go. Aw, hatching failed. There we go. There we go. Now, hey you, let me in. Nebula Acorn. Acorn. Your eggs block bullets from enemies. Alright. My eggs are putting in work, apparently. Does that mean I'm Squirrel Girl? Is that what that means? I don't have any grenades for any of this. Well, shit. Uh-huh. Cashews my ass. McTucky, god of fast food. Okay. So we're not getting the McFamily this time. Strength increase. Ow. Hatching failed, it's empty! I'm holding on to this grenade because I don't know if I'm gonna need it for something else. Why are all these eggs hatching failing? I don't understand. Lemon jelly? I want lemon jelly. eggs are mine! Eggs are super expensive right now. Give me them. Ooh, blue brick. Key. Gun? Light dancer. I mean, I like the fact that I can fly freely. I guess I'll hold on to it. No, not the hatching failed. Come on. I'm getting so tired of the hatching failed. Thank you for the kiss. Mwah. Black rum or strength badge? Black rum. When you use a bomb, your eggs will Fuck you, game. Fuck you. This run is now cursed. Yep, this run's now cursed. I'm not happy about this at all. He shoots fireballs at his enemies. Alright, what you got? Weapon badge! Increase gun level. Oh, I left money in here? I did. I'm buying the puddy! The more eggs you have, the more times you can jump! Oh my god, it's an egg run again! It's a fucking egg run again! More hearts! More life! starting to like this gun. I'm starting to like it. I'm not 100% on it yet. Oh, infinite key! Hell yes! Thank you for the trinket. Going into the storage bin again. Eggs, could you stop failing hatching, please? Oh boy. I mean, fair. Monster damages enemies who touch it. Gun level increase again. Flame Devil. Hatching failed again. This game really likes to not let me have little buddies at all. It's like, nah. This game is cursing me with not having any egg bodies. Whew. Monocle or onion helmet? Ew, hell no, monocle. I'll drop an extra key if I hatch an empty egg. Okay. We will never get the onion helmet. Never. Onions are evil. Animosity. Knife and fork. Oh, I gotta get the money for knife and fork. I need to know what it does. I wish this was a run where it was like if you had X amount of keys, you'd do damage, because I've got 12 keys! Oh god, another key! Oh my god, really? How many keys is this game gonna give me? That's like, I have 13 fucking keys now! Keys! Goodness, it's a key party! Okay, let's go buy a knife and fork before I forget to do that. Each time you kill an enemy with melee damage, there's a chance to get an egg. Yeah! That's not gonna happen! Hamburger! Okay, that's ready player 1. Player 0 ready, or chicken burger. Chicken burger! I'll drop extra hearts if I trash an empty. Okay. This is his egg. This is definitely an egg run. Hello, Freddy. More hearts! All the life! All of them! Alright, where to go? This run is so cursed. Oh no. Well, we're on our way to having a ton of shields again and hearts. God level increase again! Oh my god! increase! This is so stupid! How many more gun levels am I gonna get? Oh my god! Sometimes they hide stuff up here, too. Oh, thank you for blankie time. Okay, they didn't hide anything. Damn. Okay, we cleared this completely. Let's unlock you. We've got Szechuan cat food or vanilla ice cream. Should I go for the cat food? I kinda wanna go for the cat food. Cat food! I'm still here! Oh my god, it is an egg run! On failure to hatch, get an angry sprite. It's a fucking egg run. Oh, the egg run! All hail egg run! We believe in egg run! Kirby! No! Kirby! Leave the egg run alone, Kirby! God damn it, Kirby! That's why he needs to leave it alone! Kirby needs to leave the egg run alone. This is a good run, Kirby. Oh, we're getting Matchbox. Oh my god, the eggs explode now! Oh no! Fuck! It's an egg run! For sure! Cold God of Guns. We got an egg ticket! More health! Oh my god! Oh no! Oh, it's this level! I don't have any bones! barns! Okay. I know I do have a barn. All right. Ow, shit. God damn it. God damn it. Thank you for the gnomes, and I lost a fucking screw. Oh, I lost another one! Ah. Trying not to lose screws. I only have 3. Damn. He's not gonna give me anything really good. Light Dancer opens all up. Okay. Might be good.
You're breathtaking.
No, you were breathtaking. Are you? No, you. Fuck! Oh, I think that's gonna be it for me, though. I didn't realize I've been playing for 4 fucking hours. Alright, that is gonna be it for me. I want to say thank you to everyone for today, because today was a bit of a change from what I usually do. I may actually put Neon Abyss as a regular thing. Thank you for the raids, and thank you for being your gosh darn awesome selves. We're gonna go find someone to send this love over to. see who we can raid. I see somebody, but I don't know. I'm just checking my list of people. Nah, thank you for lurking. I appreciate my lurkers. Without you, I would not survive on this platform. You know what? I'm gonna raid. Alright, I figured out who we're gonna raid. We are gonna raid General Wiggins. Wiggins is playing some Pokemon. Give you all a little bit something different. But remember, you are loved, you are valid, and you matter. And do something to make someone smile today. Tell someone you love them because the world's hard enough as it fucking is. I love you, my Ohana. You have a great rest of your weekend. My schedule will be out probably Sunday or Monday. Keep an eye on my socials or join the Discord, and I will post in there. But otherwise, have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you all next week. And if you are subbed, this is your raid message. If you are not subbed, this is your raid message. Do go give Wiggins all the love and awesomeness that you show me. And again, I will see you all next week. Have a great one, my Ohana.